grilled pizza, sushi e gato.
Welcome back, and thanks to my new subscribers and to those who make comments. I see my videos are starting to make a little bit of attraction, so thanks again. And yes, yet again is another sushi night. As I mentioned before, other popular foods in Brazil is sushi and pizza. And from here, we're on our way to visit Cristo Luz. We basically took an Uber, which takes you halfway up the mountain. And at the halfway point, you take a minivan, and the minivan takes you to the top of the mountain to purchase the tickets to get inside to see Cristo Luz. So just continue watching, set back, and every now and then I'll chime in, giving you a little bit of the history and my thoughts and what's actually going on. So continue watching.
Acho que é aqui, né?
Ela teve que cancelar, entendeu?
Sim. 15,50. A Uber é bem ruim pra resposta, não é fácil não.
Obrigado.
Certinho, gente.
As you saw, we made a switch and now we're in a minivan, continuing going up along the mountainside. And as you see in the background right there, it is a residential area as you go up to the top of the mountain. And from here, we're going to go and purchase our tickets to get inside Cristo Luz. On the side is a video that gives detail about the statue, and basically it states that it's the second largest Jesus statue in Brazil, the one in Rio being number one, but this is kind of outdated. The update is that the one here is now number 3, the one in Rio is now number 2, and later in this video I will give you the update of where is the largest Jesus statue in Brazil now located.
Cristo Luz.
This is the entrance, and straight ahead right there you see a mini version of the actual bigger version, which is right above this one, beyond those steps right behind it. Now the question is, why is there a mini version right below the actual statue? I have no idea. Maybe it's for picture purposes, but you can take pictures with both, so I don't see the point. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is now the third biggest Jesus statue in Brazil, following the one in Rio. And I will reveal where is the largest statue in Brazil, because it is no longer the one in Rio.
Ah, não é aqui, é aqui.
Eu falei.
This statue was inspired by the world famous statue in Rio, and as you see at nighttime, this statue looks much better because of all the different colors. So if you plan to visit this city and visit this statue, I would recommend to come here at nighttime to see the different lights. It looks much better. You know, some things just look much better at night, and this is one of them. Right here we have some fun facts about Cristo Luz, and it's translated in English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And it states the inauguration was October 4th, 1997. Now, the Jesus statue in Rio, the inauguration was October 12th, 1931. So the Jesus statue in Rio is actually the oldest statue in Brazil. And something interesting also is each day has a different color and meaning. For example, branco, which is white, domingo, which is Sunday, it means peace and faith on Sunday for that color, white. Right here we have the translation in Spanish. So this lets you know that there's a lot of Spanish tourism here, since this area is close to Uruguay and Argentina. Here is the statue, and as you see, he's holding a hat which represents the sun, and inside the hat is a spotlight that shines down on the city of Balneário. So I do recommend you come at nighttime, because you get to see the changing colors. Also, you get to look down on the city and see the actual spotlight that shines from the hat right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little light inside the hat, which represents the sun. I want to show you all here that Brazil has a new taller statue of Jesus, and it's located in a town called Encantado. And you're probably wondering, where is Encantado? Well, the town Encantado is located in the state of Rio Grande do Sul, which means that it's near Balneário, because this is the south. And the name of the statue is called Cristo Protector de Encantado. So it's named after this town. And construction began in 2019. So what you're seeing here is the new tallest statue of Jesus in Brazil. And you're probably wondering, well, what was the reason for building this statue? Well, for obvious reasons, to bring tourism to the town of Encantado, also to the surrounding areas. So what you're seeing right here is the new tallest statue in Brazil. But I still do not think that it will get more tourism than Rio, in my opinion.
Imagem do meu é ruim.
Novo ou velho?
É velho já. Manda foto pra mim depois. Manda os vídeos pra mim depois.
And the reason I said that is because Rio is still going to be the most popular visited city in the country of Brazil when it comes to tourism, for various reasons. But one of the main reasons is it's convenient. So if you're flying out of the U.S., most likely the city you're flying out of has a direct flight straight to Rio, which is an advantage over Rio Grande do Sul, because most likely to go there, you're going to have to lay over in Rio or Sao Paulo anyways. So Rio just has so many pluses over Rio Grande do Sul. But it's a good thing that this state now has this statue, because now it's going to bring tourism, which equals money. So that's always a good thing. And you may not know that there's Cristo Redentor in the state of Sao Paulo also. So there's a mini version of Jesus Christ in Sao Paulo, in the city of Taubaté, which is about maybe an hour away from GRU International Airport, that no one talks about or visit. I know about it, but I haven't visited myself, not yet. And there's other cities throughout Brazil that has many versions of the Jesus statue that no one knows of or talks about or have visited. So I would suggest you Google or check those places out. We are now returning to the entrance to exit out of here, and overall the time here was great. It was fun, especially since her vacation fell the same time as mine. It was perfect timing because we got this experience together as a first timer. Even though she is a native here, she never had the time to visit Cristo Luz because of work. So the overall experience was great. And I strongly suggest, if you have some time on your hand when you visit Brazil, come to Balneário. Now, if you're a first timer, if you're a tourist slash foreigner, first time visiting Brazil, and you're still trying to decide what city you should visit first as a first timer, I would suggest Rio. And I'm pretty sure Rio is on your list anyway. So since it's on the list, come to Rio first. Now, minus the beaches, you still have city life, nightlife. You have different famous landmarks and monuments I'm pretty sure you want to see and take pictures of. Go to Rio first. Now, if you so happen to have a lot of time on your hand on your vacation, let's say, for example, you have a 2-week vacation, right? On your second week, I would strongly suggest you either go north or south of Rio just to gather new experiences, to see a different atmosphere, and you have some kind of comparison to make for your second trip to Brazil. Because yes, as a first timer, you're going to come to Brazil again because it's so hard to sink everything in 1 week. After your first day, most likely everything's going to be like a blur of fascination because it's going to be totally different than the country you're coming from the foods, from the music, just the beaches, the people. Everything is totally different. So you want to come back and experience that again. But at least on your second trip to Brazil, by you venturing out your first time, at least you know in your head that comparison of where you're going to go to next. Because you might not like Rio, you might like Recife much better. Or you might come down here to Bonadio and you might not get the same experience as I did. And you might not like Bonadio at all. But you never know this unless you venture out. Now, it took me about, I don't know, probably 4/5 years to finally venture out of the city of Rio to visit other cities. It took me a long time because I was just so amazed by the culture during those 4 or 5 years. And I stayed in a favela those 4 or 5 years, I only stayed in a hotel my first time visiting Brazil for a carnival. Then after that, I was stuck in a favela. And I was I don't know, enamored by the way people live there compared to my own country in the U.S. But after those 4/5 years, I did venture out. And my first city, I remember like it was yesterday, was Salvador, Bahia. And then after that, it was just on. I just kept going to different places, different cities. I went to Belém, Manaus. The list just goes on and on. I visited more cities in Brazil than I have in my own country in America. And then from there, I just took that way of traveling to other countries. I took it to Colombia, and I went to Cali first. And then after that, I just kept going on to just different cities. I went to Germany, same thing. I did the same moves, as in traveling to one city and then venturing out and just going to different cities. Now, I didn't do this all in one trip. I just kept going back and back. So if you so happen to visit Brazil as a first timer, again, visit Rio first. And if you have a lot of time on your hand, I would suggest you venture out. Or what you could do is just go to other cities within the state of Rio de Janeiro, because they're all not the same. When you come to Rio, you think that's what it is, that's it. But it's more to Rio than Rio de Janeiro, the city.
Que é só isso. Vamos ver. Mas eu sei de outro lugar também legal. Vou falar. Que bonito que é o celular.
Sim?
A câmera. O meu é ruim.
Normal.
Não, olha lá. A
Diferente.
imagem do meu é ruim.
Novo ou velho?
É velho já. Manda foto pra mim depois. Manda os vídeos pra mim depois.
Would I come back here again? And the answer is, oh yeah, I would come back here again. Most definitely. Yes. When? That's a question mark. I don't know. But in general, would I come back to Balneario again? Absolutely. There's some cities that I visited in the past in other countries, even here in Brazil, that I didn't really have a good experience my first time. And usually what I do is I don't go back to those cities. but Balneário is one of those cities that I visited my first time, and I loved it. I love the experience. So yes, I would come back here again, but not just because of what you're saying now of the landmarks or anything like that. It's because of the beaches. All you have seen so far is one beach, and that's the Central Beach near my apartment, and that beach looks okay. You know, it doesn't look spectacular or nothing like that, glamorous. It's a beach. It's okay. It's nice. But there's other beaches that's near here in Bonadio that you'll be surprised of how it looks. The atmosphere, the scenery, totally different than the one you saw in Central near my apartment. And I said beaches. So my next video will be just focused on beaches with an S. So you have some type of comparison if you choose to come here or not of the different beaches in Balneario, because they're way different than the beach you saw in Central near my apartment. Way different. And I was surprised. You know, I was thinking, well, you know, Balneario, this area has some nice beaches. They're going to be okay. But I'm saying my next video, some of the beaches that I went to was above that. If I had to rate from 1 to 10, I would say, not even just thinking about it, it's a 10. It's a 10. So the beaches here were that spectacular. Beyond the beach you saw again in Central is way better than that. So thanks for watching. Continue watching. Subscribe to those who make comments. I appreciate that. That's motivating. And to all the new subscribers, again, I appreciate that. So hang in there and continue watching.
Que é isso?
É uma lojinha, tem uma loja e acho que lá tem fotos também.